Hello everyone, my name is Helene and I'm here today to do a book tag. It's been such a long time since I last did one of these, so it's about time that I do one. This tag is going to be about Christmas and it is basically called The Winter is Coming book tag. I put on my cozy sweater, I've put on a little bit of red lipstick just because the occasion called for it, and I'm ready to go. I was tagged to do this by Katherine Barka and she is also the creator of this tag, so I will put the link to her video down below as well as all the questions, because let me tell you something, these questions are damn long, so I'm going to read them aloud from my iPhone and then I'm going to show you the books that go with the questions. Question number 1 is about snow. It is beautiful when it first falls, but then it starts to melt. A book or a book series that you loved at the beginning, but then at the middle of it you realized that you didn't like it any longer. For that one I've chosen to go for Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This book started out good. It wasn't my favorite, but it started out okay. It is about a woman and a man who are on a honeymoon in Scotland, and that sounds cozy. I like that premise. Then she is being thrown back in time and she meets another man, and I'm not going to say too much. It is a huge book and I just didn't really feel like it was worth all the time that I devoted to it. I didn't end up liking it that much. Number 2 is Snowflake. Something beautiful and always different. Choose a book that stands out, that is different from all the other books that you've read. And for that one, I haven't chosen a specific book because I'm going to go for all of my beautiful Penguin cloth-bound classics that I have behind me. I can show you some examples. They are just stunning and they all stand out, I think. This is Madame Bovary, Anna Karenina. I did a video about these recently, so if you're interested, you can go check out that video. You're more than welcome to do so. Question 3 is Snowman, and it is always fun to make one with your family. Choose a book that a whole family could read. I don't know if this book is appropriate for my whole family, but I decided to go for it anyway, and that is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. This is a Christmas read, and I think it appeals to both children as well as young adults as well as adults, because it's such a nice and warm Christmas story and I think that everyone would love it. Number 4 is Christmas. Choose a book that is full of happiness, that made you warm inside after reading it. For that one I have chosen to go for Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is a classic children's book and I read it the first time back in October. I fell in love with it because it's so warm. It's such a nice and cozy story and you can't help but smile when you read about these 4 sisters and their mother and their life in general. Number 5 is Santa Claus. Ho 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 ho! He brings wonderful presents. Choose a book that you would like to get for Christmas. I'll have to say, I only have books on my wish list for this Christmas, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get at least one book if I'm lucky. But at the top of my wish list I have the book called The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafran. I really want this book and I really hope that I will get it. I think I will, because I said to my parents that that book was at the top of my list, so we will have to wait and see. Number 6 is Snowballing. It can be painful to be hit by a snowball. Choose a book that hurt, that made you feel some strong emotion like sadness or anger. This is a book that made me so sad, in a good way, but it was so sad, and that is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. This book has some scenes in it that just broke my heart. I couldn't believe that Paulina Simons did this to me, so read this book, it really is worth the read. Then we have Sledding. We all loved it when we were younger. Choose a book that you loved when you were a child. And I've chosen to go for a book that I loved when I was a teenager, not a child, because I couldn't find any books behind me that I loved as a child. So I've chosen to go for Fragile Things by Neil Gaiman. This is a compilation of, I think, 12 short stories one short story for each month of the year. It is so brilliant, it is so nice, I loved it, and I really have to reread it someday because it's such a good read for whenever you feel like reading some Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is good. He always is. So yeah. Number 8 is Frostbite. Choose a book that you were really disappointed in. I know I'm going to get some hate mails now, because this book is very popular in the booktube community. A lot of people seem to love it, and I picked it up because of that. And then I read it and I was quite disappointed. And the book I'm talking about is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a good story and it is a very moving story. It's about two main characters who lived during the Second World War. The thing that disappointed me was that I couldn't get into either the writing style or the characters. I didn't really feel for them. Even though the girl is blind and the boy is a soldier, I just couldn't get into the story. So yeah. And the very last question is about reindeers, something that is dear to us. Choose a book that is of great sentimental value to you. For this one, I haven't chosen one book because I couldn't do that. I had to choose a complete series, and maybe you've guessed which one it is. It is, of course, the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. This series I read when I was a child and I devoured it. I loved it so much. I think the same goes for a lot of kids all around the world. I reread this series this year and I fell in love with it all over again. And that is it for this tag. I will tag some people and put their names down in the description box. And basically, if you want to do this tag, just do it, because we need to spread the Christmas spirit and the Christmas joys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great Christmas, everyone, and bye bye.